All right, I got 12:01. Let's go ahead and get started here. A couple of the people I know said they were going to be here haven't showed up yet, so I'll keep an eye on the waiting room as more and more people hopefully join. So let's see. Okay, good deal. We'll start off with I think everybody knows everybody, so I'll go ahead and skip the introductions just because I'm trying to do a little shortened meeting this month. So we'll go ahead and skip all of that aspect because I think we all know each other for the most part. So I just want to say thanks so much for being here today. I really appreciate it. One of the things that's going on with Buckle Up Montana updates is right now the state is going through a big assessment from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, or NHTSA. Kira was on an interview here, was it yesterday? I was on one the day before. Essentially, the state is going through this big assessment about occupant protection because our statewide seatbelt number usage was below 90%. And when I say below 90%, and I'm not sure the exact number, but it was 89 point something, like 89.4, 89.6. I'm not sure exactly what it was, but we were just below the 90% level. So that's why they're going through this big assessment. Maybe others, I don't know. Rolf, did they ever reach out to you? Have you talked to them at all? Okay. I know they had, a bunch of different interviews scheduled this week with a bunch of different people. So next big thing on the agenda, Lifesavers Conference. Big shout out to Kevi for joining me. I know she's not here today, but she joined me on the virtual Lifesavers Conference. And she won $100. She won $100 Amazon gift card. I was just finished up with a workshop and was in their big meeting area and was looking, and all of a sudden popped down Kevi Berger from Missoula wins $100 gift card. So that was pretty sweet to see, and hopefully she gets to spend that wisely. So essentially, for those of you that had looked up anything when I was asking for volunteers to, maybe come join us at the Lifesavers Conference, if you got a chance to check it out. Okay, let's see. I'm just writing everybody down here because I record the meetings, but it never shows me the participant list on the meeting. So I got to write everybody down as they come in. Especially since we're not doing the introductions right now. So okay, perfect. Anyway, the Lifesavers Conference had a tremendous number of workshops that we could all attend. Those workshops were available for 45 days starting the end of the conference, which was the week before last. So they're still available. I'm trying to actually hop in and kind of do a screen record of some of these conferences. So if there is something specific about Lifesavers, which is the largest traffic safety conference in the country, that if there was something specific that you were looking to learn or had a question on or something like that, wanted to learn more, feel free to reach out to me. I can go through the workshops and let you know. I'm thinking Reagan, for example, there was a lot of stuff on reaching out to teens and, making utilizing social media or, different sort of messaging around marijuana, which is going to be a big deal for us in the coming future. So a lot of those things, if there's something specific that you're looking for, let me know. I can hop in there and maybe record kind of what that workshop was and share that with you. So that was pretty cool. I know Kira's good. Rolf is good. Are there anybody else as a seatbelt tech or a car seat tech here? I don't think there is. Paul, you're not a car seat tech, are you?
I was a long time ago. Mine expired years ago, so no, not currently.
Okay. Just wanted to let people know if that they well, wanted to find out who still needs hours. I'm assuming Rolf and Kira, you guys are probably all good with your hours since you guys both went to the Helena Tech update. Do you mind if you two just share a little bit about what that was and how that went?
Yeah, sure. It was good. They did, so there was 5 hours of CEU. They had Vera Fullaway, who I think she does all sorts of things. She's also been on the assessment calls this week, but she does represent the Manufacturers Alliance for Child Passenger Safety as one of those roles. And then a woman, the representative from KIGO, and we did like a car seat detective activity where it was really just kind of familiarizing ourselves with and then finding things in car seat manuals. We did another activity that just had us kind of look at car seats and kind of jot down everything we could in teams. And then they gave us an update on the Ride Safer vest. They have a new model of that vest out. And they have a new model of their booster seat coming out too. And then I feel like I'm missing something, or I'll have to remember what it was.
The lady that is responsible for the latch manual that we use as technicians joined us via a Zoom call and went over changes in the newest latch manual and gave us hints on how to use it and highlighted some of the sections of the manual that we don't often pay attention to, or as much as we should. And then they also went over using the online form for filling out checks, and there's a new version of it out that we should be using as technicians. And then if we set up an account and go online, we can enter those seat checks that we've done, and then the state and nationally they're able to consolidate the data from seat checks that we've done and pick out some useful information that we can go forward with in the future.
I did not stay for the car seat checkup, so I don't know how that went, but I think you stayed, Ralph.
There weren't many people there. I think part of the problem is that we've gone through this COVID. People are sort of still isolated. It was at the Knights of Columbus, which is a little off the beaten track, so you've got to sort of be aware of where it's at. People don't just see it and stop by. I did not participate in any seat checks because I just re-upped my certification, and I don't need them for another 2 years. So I sat back and let there were some several people from some of the Indian reservations, Fort Peck up on the Roosevelt County, and they needed to get the hands-on experience with people to recertify themselves. So they got the chance, and I was sort of a traffic cop for a little while.
Very good, very good. And on the Drive Safe Missoula blog, I had made a post actually recently regarding the Ride Safer vest, the traffic, the vest, the MyFold booster seat, and some other basically travel-friendly car seat alternatives, or child passenger safety systems is what I think they were called. And because the inventor of the Ride Safer thing presented at the Lifesavers conference, also the lady who does the latch manual also presented there as well. So I got to watch both of their presentations, and that's where I got some of my CEUs completed up with through that. So there is a blog on there. So anybody that, you know, has a family that might be looking for some travel needs, I was not even aware that these things existed in our training. I had no idea, but was absolutely fascinated to find out that there were other options than a big, huge car seat for kids, specifically when traveling, using Uber, using Lyft, or whatever the case may be. So if you happen to have a friend or family member or something like that that needs some sort of alternative transportation safety device for young child or young children, check out the blog on drivesafemissoula.com. And it's titled A Different Kind of Child Passenger Safety. Extra bonus points for any of you that share that on your social media. That would be sweet, just to let friends and family know that stuff like that even exists. So awesome. Well, I'm glad you two had a great time in Helena. Sorry I could not be there. My wife is still recovering from her hip replacement surgery. For those of you that may know, she's in a wheelchair full time and still not able to fully transfer independently on her own in and out of the wheelchair. So we tried, but wasn't able to make it to the event. So I don't think there's any other car seat techs here at all. Marie, is that something you've ever thought about doing, is becoming a car seat tech? Because we could use somebody at St. Pat's Hospital.
I have not. I don't know with everything that I do that I could actually be around enough in Missoula to actually have anybody benefit from it. Yeah, so since
Well,
I used to work from home,
okay,
I take
all right,
full advantage of that.
yeah, very good.
I used to work for the county health department, and I know, you know, they desperately needed people to be techs with car seats, and yeah, and even with that job, I could never get the time to actually do it.
Yeah, now little ones are being born over at St. Pat's too, right? It's not just community.
Yes.
So we might want to reach out to you sometime here in the future if we have a new class that's coming up. I know right now all the classes are like in Bozeman and Belgrade and Billings and all that stuff. They're completely jam-packed full, but I would love to get a tech. So I might reach out to you to see if you happen to know somebody.
I actually have somebody in mind.
Okay, very good. So we might look at maybe trying to figure out a way to get them certified so we could have somebody over at St. Pat's. I know Kira is nice to have her right next to community, so she can hop over there and help out families all the time. And Rolf, of course,
called the community a couple times myself, and you know, if St. Pat's needs somebody to come on site and do one, I'm perfectly willing to do that. So I don't have a problem
perfect
going to the hospital if the family is there and needs help. So I'm willing.
Excellent. And now, hopefully, with more restrictions being released a little bit, we're allowed to do that. I think during the COVID situation, they wouldn't have let you in no matter what. At that point, I think Kira even had to sneak in
Jenny
past
snuck me
security.
in.
Yeah. She had to like run in, you know, undercover, sliding under security lasers and all sorts of things to get in. So,
Steve, did the tech that was at St. Pat's, did they not renew this last time?
you know, that's a good question. I don't know the answer to that.
I can't remember her name. But there was only one. So.
Yeah. I don't know. And I know we haven't seen Charmel on here in a long time, and we haven't seen Kathy on here in a long time either. I know Kathy's really busy teaching, you know, paramedic class and EMT class and all that stuff. So she is, you know, fully swamped. And I think Charmel has meetings that are scheduled at the same exact time. So she hasn't been around, but those are our two child passenger safety and seat instructors here in the Missoula area. Of course, Lonnie is still, certified as an instructor, but I don't know if we plan on having any classes anytime soon.
And Jason. Butler.
Oh yeah, Jason Butler too. That's right. So hopefully we'll have something going on. Maybe get some more people up and running as far as that stuff goes, because it's a lot of fun. So and I know Missoula Rural Fire Department has started resuming their seat check on the second Saturday of every single month. So high five to Jason for doing that. And even I heard one of their new recruits might be helping out with maybe reaching out to Jason to help run that event as well. So that would be pretty cool. Let's see, any other things about Buckle Up? Anybody have any updates, questions, thoughts, ideas?
Steve,
Yeah.
can you get those Ride Safe products in Missoula?
Yeah, I think, well, purchasing them like at a store, I'm not 100% sure. Definitely online.
Definitely online. Okay.
Yeah. And I know if I had little ones, I would be 100% looking into that Ride Safe one. I have a picture on that blog. I don't know if you guys want to check that out, but that looks to be like, the safest little harness thing I've ever seen. So skydivers should look into wearing something like that. I was quite impressed. All right.
I've got the price sheet here, and they range in price from the small one at $169 to the extra large vest, which goes 80 to 110 pounds for $229. So they've got three sizes that overlap or meet each other. So they looked interesting, and we saw they had one there. So we actually saw one.
Yeah, and really in the whole scheme of things, as far as child safety goes, I don't think that's too much to spend. I know a lot of families, that would be hard to get that type of thing. But if you're looking to travel with your kids, you're looking to do rideshare, Uber, Lyft, all that stuff, what a phenomenal option. Even the little MyFold one is a simple little thing that I was blown away by. I have one in my office. I had no idea really anything about it. We watched the conference at the Lifesavers about it, and I was blown away. I'm like, oh, that's genius. It's so smart. I love it. Awesome. Well, thanks everybody for all your updates on Buckle Up stuff. We'll move on to DUI Task Force. And like I said, I know a few people have joined. This is only an hour-long meeting, so we're going to try to get through everything pretty fast and move along and get you on with your bright and sunny day out there today. So DUI Task Force, I just completed the annual plan for this next year. Thank you for those of you that attended our little planning meeting where we went over everything. I really appreciated your thoughts and ideas and feedback on that stuff. The only thing that we're waiting on right now is working on the budget, which is going to be a little bit of a challenge as far as this next year goes, because for those of you that don't know, my pay for this position for the DUI Task Force, I'm only part-time DUI Task Force, part-time Buckle Up. That creates one full-time position. And my pay for the DUI Task Force comes from driver's license reinstatement fees, if you weren't aware. Essentially what that means, somebody gets pulled over for a DUI, they need to get their driver's license reinstated, they pay a fee to get that reinstated. Half of that fee goes to the state fund. The other half of the fee goes to the DUI Task Force. Traditionally, those numbers have been going down, or historically, those numbers have been going down. About 5-6 years ago, they were roughly around anywhere from $13,000 to $19,000 per quarter, which definitely allowed for the opportunity to pay for this position. For those of you that have been around a long, long time, we're talking like 6 years or more, way back when the DUI Task Force used to provide grants to different organizations to do different things all the time, because there was a lot of extra surplus money that needed to be spent. Last quarter, my driver's license reinstatement fees was $5,600, and this quarter was $6,900. So that is significantly less. In fact, I will probably have to cut my hours as a result of that, which is not cool. Although I am in a unique position where I'm actually working against myself. My job is to prevent DUIs, and by preventing DUIs, I make less money. So that's a cool thing. I'd rather have no DUIs and not have a job, honestly, than I'll go do something else if that's the case. But that's where we're at right now. So we're working on those budgets. Once that gets completed, it'll get sent to the county commissioners and then off to Kevin Dusko with the state for our plan. Primarily the work plan, the biggest thing that I'll be working on that's going to be the most time consuming aspect is going to be the Young Drivers in Control course. As far as my day-to-day activities go, I haven't had much time to work on that lately because of all the different reports I've had to do. And then we're hoping that the responsible alcohol sales and service training may be able to supplement some of that stuff. I'm working with the state right now. Initially, the plan was for me to create some of their videos off my time with the county. So through my own business, I was going to create these videos for the RAS training. But now I still got to make a phone call later this afternoon to possibly put that in as far as my job with the county, get that money from state DOR and utilize that for some of my funding. Otherwise, I may be reaching out for any grant opportunities that any one of you may have, or I'll do a bake sale or something like that. I don't know. We'll see. So anyway, that's what I have going on. RAS training is resuming, the responsible alcohol sales and service. I got trained to teach RAS right before COVID started. I had my first class signed up, and then COVID hit and was not able to teach a class. So I went for an entire, over a year now, not ever having taught what I have learned. So now I'm in the full-on relearning phase of this, and my first class is going to be with Missoula KOA. I didn't even know they sold alcohol there. On the 1st of June. So I'll be studying that stuff inside and out for the next week or so before that. Next thing on the list, road court update. Samantha, thank you for joining us today. What's going on with road court?
Hi, everyone. A lot is going on. I think the judge mentioned last time she was on here, but we were granted a BGA grant that's going to take us through 3 years with the option to extend for one more for about $400,000. This is a huge opportunity because what it is allowing us to do is to expand into municipal court. So originally, the first 2 years of road court, we have been completely funded by Kevin Dusko at the MDT, and we have only been able to take defendants out of justice court. We didn't have any connection with the city. We would get referrals from the city, but unfortunately, just because of the way our grant was written, we weren't able to accept those participants. So as of right now, in the month of May, we are officially 2 years and 2 months old. Very exciting. We are beginning our process. We have one city defendant now officially. To date, we have had 28 participants in the program. We've had 16 graduates and over 75 referrals. I know that number sounds a little bit off, hearing that we've had 75 referrals, but maybe only impacted around 30 individuals. But that's because a lot of referrals that we get might not be appropriate for our program. They may be ineligible because of a felony offense, or maybe if they were considered sex offenders, that wouldn't be appropriate for our program. We've had a lot of others. We've referred to other treatment programs within the community. A lot of people didn't meet criteria because they have to have a few things like a diagnosable substance use disorder. They also have to be deemed high risk, high needs. And some other things was just maybe we got a referral and then it wasn't a good fit for their life, or they didn't follow up. So that's why we have a higher number of referrals and a lower number of impacted individuals. But we're very excited to be able to expand into municipal court. that'll give us the ability to potentially reach 50 individuals a year for the next 3 years. So keeping our roads safer, keeping our community safer, and hopefully giving that individual some tools to maintain some long-term sobriety. So it's pretty exciting news. We're getting our website up and rolling too. It's on the Justice Court website. Yeah, we stole a lot from Schmitty, so thank you for that. We really appreciate all your work on that. Other than that, Road Court's always open for having people come and view it. We hold Road Court every Thursday from staffing starts at 9, court gets over at 10:30. So if anybody is ever interested, you are more than welcome to attend via Zoom. As we kind of roll into getting things a little more in person, maybe down the road you could attend in person, but feel free to reach out to me if anybody is ever interested or wants more information on the program.
Have any of the graduates of the program reoffended?
So one of the big things that we are having with our new grant with the BGA grant is we are going to have consultation, peer review, and making sure that we're heading best practices for DUI treatment courts. And one thing that we need to be doing better is following those participants if they've discharged out, opted out, or graduating, and see the reoffense rate. Right now, we know of one individual who did reoffend with a DUI offense. But 1 out of 16, I wouldn't say is horrible. We will start tracking that data a lot more closely and having like specific interventions with that too, reaching back out and seeing what support for them might look like. So one reoffense that we know of so far.
Excellent, excellent. Anybody else have questions for Samantha on Road Court? It's worth going to check out. It's an interesting process to watch. If you've ever been to any other like traditional criminal court cases or court sessions or anything like that, it's completely different. It's good. It's good to see. It's a refreshing environment and not what you expect.
Samantha, can I ask a question of Samantha?
Yes.
I know what the law in Montana is, and so many DUIs, and then you automatically go to watch east or west, depending if you're man or woman. Where does this program come in? First offense, second offense?
That's a great question. So we are a court of limited jurisdiction. So we will take first if it's high BAC, second and third offenses, also aggravated offenses. Also, if there was a charge related, a DUI related to substance use, whether it was prescription pills or anything of that sort, we would also consider them as well.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Samantha?
Yeah.
Rich from the city attorney's office.
Hello.
Do you, how likely is it that somebody could be sentenced out of another county into this court, into road court?
So we do actually, we've had about 3 participants who were sentenced out of different counties. There's a weird process that we have to go through. They would have to live in Missoula County just because of all the appointments that they have to make with their probation officer and treatment and court appearances. But we do take defendants out of different counties as long as they live within our county.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
And you said the term, just so everybody's familiar, what's the difference between some of those DUI types that you talked about? Like you said, aggravated DUI. What does that mean?
So that would mean high BACs. So we would look at if it was a really high BAC on their first arrest and they were willing to change and there was a history of substance use, we would definitely consider them. Our goal of the program is to keep impaired drivers off the road and give people who are willing and want to change that opportunity, because a lot of times the only other option is you go and sit in jail, and that's not creating any tools. It's not working on the deeper root of the issue. It's not getting to that person to really change. So it's a great opportunity. It is a very intense program. It's a minimum of a year long. There are a ton of requirements between probation, treatment, check-ins, and court. But there's a lot of payoff with it too.
Excellent. And Rolf asked a question here, and I'll pose it to you, Samantha, and then I'll answer part of it. He said in the chat, how does new marijuana law or usage fit into the DUI task force mandate and goals? How does that fit into road court real quick?
So because of our funding, we don't see we can't have people with medical marijuana cards in the program. Also because of individuals' drugs of choice in group, if we had one participant who was, still using medical marijuana, it could really disrupt the other participants in that group and kind of throw them off too. So unfortunately, we do not allow any medical marijuana use in our program. I know the laws are changing with it becoming recreational. So I know there's going to be a threshold, I believe, just like there are with alcohol related DUIs. We haven't dived that far into it yet, but I'm sure we'll be working close with Schmitty and getting some guidelines and hearing it from the state as well.
So right now it's just alcohol. There's no anticipation to get people in a road court that have a THC or drugs?
No, I mean, definitely if they had high THC, we would take that too, because that's a substance use related offense.
Okay, thanks.
Yep.
And I was hoping our, I'm like drawing a blank on name right now. She's with the State Crime Lab, has joined us a couple of times. I can't think of her name right off the top of my head. Last name Palmer, I believe. Anyway, she was going to, she couldn't join us today, but I was hoping she would be able to report back on like the polysubstance use, the DUIs that, also have marijuana or other substances on board. That was a big part of our plan as far as the DUI plan coming up, is to have a big emphasis on that. The state is really focusing on how are they going to message marijuana use, legal marijuana use with driving. How do we let people know when is it okay to drive after you've used marijuana, whether it's an edible or you smoked it or what have you. And there's a variety of different ways to consume it. Some blew my mind. I didn't know that it could be consumed that way. But with that, it is going to be a big part of the task force moving forward. And it is part of our funding sources to try to battle that and try to figure that out. So it'll be a pretty big emphasis. We just don't know where we're going with it necessarily. I'll probably be following a lot of the lead. And I think the state is also waiting to hear back from like the Center for Health and Safety Culture to make sure the messaging doesn't cause any form of psychological reactance or moral disengagement, aspects of things there. So we'll probably be doing, I know there's a few people at Lifesavers talked about this. I've been talking with what used to be known as MUSAP, the Missoula Underage Substance Abuse Prevention Group, which is now Healthy Missoula Youth. We've been talking about doing some partnership messaging there. It very well may likely be that, we go out and whether we conduct focus groups with users or what have you, or utilize what other states like Colorado and Washington and Oregon and things like that have been using for their messaging, and trying to figure out which is going to be the best practice to have the biggest impact when it comes to messaging around that aspect of things. Sergeant Fowler, are you guys doing anything specific with the highway patrol as far as I know we talked about this, I think I might have asked you last meeting. What are you guys doing specifically as far as training for the upcoming legalization of marijuana?
So we have several guys who've gone through a DRE course. So if we get more DREs out on the road, they're able to help with an evaluation for people suspected who are absolutely impaired but not on alcohol. We already have training for this. So this is just more training specific to drugs. So like when we process a DUI, we see impairment, right? So if we rule out alcohol, then it's going to be drugs, and then we go get a blood sample. So we've been trained in this. This is just going to be more specific training. And then there are several courses that the city has put on cannabis DUI, they'll bring in an instructor and it'll be specific to cannabis.
Excellent. Excellent. And I think one of the biggest things, for those of you that don't know, DRE stands for Drug Recognition Examiner or Expert. And they're the ones that can go through, like you've seen, like the standard field sobriety tests that will determine the level of impairment or that there's probable cause for an arrest in a situation. The DREs, drug recognition examiners, can go through a series of tests to help get a really good idea of what particular substance might be causing the particular level of impairment that they're on. So it's a fascinating process. If you ever get an opportunity to watch or see what that is like, or volunteer for a wet lab, or what they call green labs now, where they have participants actually consume alcohol, or in the case of green labs, marijuana, and then allow the DREs to practice on those types of situations. It's a fascinating process to watch them go through the different tests and all that stuff. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Thank you for sharing that information. I appreciate it. Any other questions as far as that goes? All right, we're going to move on. Let me share my screen and show you guys the winning video, unless you guys have seen this already. I don't know if you guys have seen this. No, it's not letting me minimize my screen here. Okay, there we go. Okay, there's no music to this because one of the things that we had as far as music goes, let's see. Okay, can you guys see a video with strawberries? Okay, sweet. So before we get into that, so with this, one of the rules in the contest was no music. Well, it not necessarily no music, it just no copyrighted music. Obviously there's a variety of different sources out there, but she didn't put any music on this video. But this is Brooke Plute, who is a University of Montana student. She submitted the video, she followed all the rules, and entered the TikTok contest about driving sober. And this is her video. Let me see if I got this. It was titled, there you go, My Top Reasons for Driving Sober. So here you go. It's real short. And there you have it. That 60-second slideshow of silence won her $1,000. That check just came in yesterday, so I get to go pick that up, and she's out of town right now. But we'll be back in a couple of weeks. I sent her an email, was like, do you want me to put this in the mail for you? Or she goes, nope, I'll just wait. When I get back to town, she'll pick it up. So we'll try to do a little video. So the reason why that was the video that won $1,000, for those of you that don't know, is that was our only entry into the entire TikTok contest. And that's for both MSU in Bozeman and U of M here in Missoula. We did have one other person make a video that utilized the hashtag of Drive Sober Grizz, but he did not officially enter the contest through the entry page, and he only had like 9 likes on his video anyway. So she had 40 some odd likes, or 48 maybe, I'm not 100% sure, but being the only legal entry, she won the contest. We were hoping to maybe cut it off at the passes. She entered the contest right away and didn't make a video for almost the entire time that the contest was running. Like 2 or 3 days before the end of the contest, she made the video. We were hoping that she would not make a video and it would have saved us $1,000, but she did make the video. She did follow all the rules, and there you go. So 2 people here with us today that helped the most with this, Sheila and Kaylee. Could you guys talk a little bit about your thoughts and ideas on this? I know we talked on the phone a little bit earlier, but what were some of your thoughts about this whole TikTok contest?
Kaylee, do you want to go first? Is she there?
Here, it doesn't matter, whatever.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So hi everyone. I have not been to this meeting for a while. So I'm Kaylee Julius, currently the interim wellness director at the Curry Health Center. And I think that this TikTok challenge is a really great idea. I think many of our students are on TikTok, and Steve did an incredible job organizing all of it and, you know, putting it all together, many steps to it. I think that it gave us a really good framework if we're going to try to do this again. I think the idea is still really great and the impact could be really great, but the timing of it, you know, our students are like, you know, they were burnt out in August of this, you know, the beginning of the academic year. And we did this, I think, you know, mid-March to beginning of April. I kind of forget the timeline, but that's kind of when finals and kind of the last part of the semesters were wrapping up. And some folks were even just kind of leaving early because, you know, most of their classes were online. And like engagement wise with like most of programming, the engagement has been significantly lower because people are just burnt out and they don't want to do anything more online. So I don't know, we did quite a bit of marketing, but it's always hard to get students to do things, I think, when we're marketing them in places that they're like getting all of the information from the University of Montana. And that's kind of, you know, it's the best place to go. But right now that's kind of, they're getting mass communications from us constantly about things. So I think we learned a lot. I would totally do it again. I also think a lot of we have peer health educators that do a lot of work for us, but we only had 2 this semester and they were really booked up. So I tried to do more of it, but if we could get more involvement with students that could make videos for us or really get Monty on board. I'm not sure how much Steve shared with you about kind of the mascot issues. There was reasons why they didn't want to do a video for us, but they have been doing, you know, safety around COVID for, you know, like the last 9 months with Monty involved. So I don't really see that this is any different. So Sheila, next time I just think I need to make the calls because I'm a university employee and maybe they would think differently of it, like that, you know. So I think that's one thing that I learned on that end, but yeah. And Brooke's video was great. I think that's exactly what we're looking for. Yeah.
Right. I think too, Kaylee, that we even need to start higher because Todd Rahr at the University of Montana was totally on board, had given me a verbal okay, and then clawed it back after he talked to his cohort at MSU, who had I just don't think he had that personal contact with Leah that we had here in Missoula. And in fact, he had never talked to her, the guy in Bozeman. The other thing I think is that by concentrating on TikTok as our promotion media, as well as our entries, we may have missed out on some kids. And I think that the advice that I got was in the fall, promote it on Facebook, promote it on Instagram, use those social media, maybe even do some display And one of the comments that I thought was most interesting, that I talked to somebody in Boston who's a social media and digital advertising expert. He said, my 19-year-old does what me and his mom make him do, mostly his mom. And I thought, well, it's probably worthwhile then to get the word out, because some students are incentivized less by money than by mom and dad said, I better do this and help them pay for college. So that might also be something. And then the last thing, and I talked to Steve about that this morning, because they have to pay taxes on anything over $5.99, maybe we could lower over $600. Maybe we could lower the prize and give more prizes out, and then the kids don't have to pay taxes on it. We don't even have to 1099 them.
Could you also just pay it directly to the university as a scholarship as opposed to just cash prize? That way they don't have to pay taxes if it's going straight to the university as like a scholarship.
Right. We could.
We could do that. I just don't like, what's more appealing to students, because I think a lot of them like already have that kind of taken care of. So I don't know if it would, I don't know. So,
yep.
But yeah, we could.
Yeah, that was definitely some discussions that we had early on, was that specific.
Yeah. Also, I had a comment that for kids who don't consider themselves scholarship, quote unquote, students, the kids who aren't at the top of the class academically, or maybe aren't on a sports scholarship, they may not think of themselves as scholarship students. And this was, again, our digital expert who said, why would you not call it a prize or a competition? I said, well, we wanted to avoid the taxable prizes, and that's why we were going for scholarship. But that was one of his suggestions, that it might appeal to students who don't think of themselves as scholarship students.
Yeah, and I think moving forward, I also spoke with Leah, who is the DUI task force coordinator in Bozeman, about this as well. I think moving forward, we're going to try maybe with the, of course, we got a little bit of time to figure this out, but now that we have all the meat and potatoes behind the scenes, the terms and conditions, all of that stuff in place that have gone through, several different legal teams to, give us the thumbs up that these are okay, which is probably the hardest part of this entire process. We might move to high school students and maybe do it a little bit differently, where we have maybe like $500 first prize, $250 second prize, $150 third prize, and then maybe throughout the process, during the span of the competition, that we provide gift cards from businesses that we can find sponsorship for and all that stuff. So this even though we had only one video, which I think initially we were thinking we might be overwhelmed with the number of videos that we were going to receive. It made the review process extremely easy, but I think we learned a lot, and I still believe in this concept. I still think it's going to work. I think, after talking with everybody, also those from Bozeman, the timing seemed to be the biggest deal. It was that we were so close to finals. I talked to my daughter, who just graduated from the university. So actually, the two people on this meeting right now have something to do with my children and their next jobs. So my son got hired with Missoula Rural Fire Department and worked with Dodd already. And then Reagan, you probably don't know, but my daughter just got hired with Frenchtown Schools to be a special ed instructor or teacher out there. So really cool. The two of you are on this meeting right now. But talking with them, they had zero interest, even though I told them they weren't eligible because of me. But they didn't share it with their friends. Even my son's girlfriend had zero interest in taking any more time away from her, studying for finals to create a video to maybe win $1,000. So yeah, so I think the timing was probably the biggest deal of this whole thing. So We'll probably give it a go come fall, maybe with high schoolers. The other thing is, with the COVID pandemic, the lack of students that were actually physically on campus, even if I were to hand out, 50 flyers to each and every single one of us, and we would have walked around campus, there wouldn't have been anybody to hand a flyer to. So that was, probably, an issue with that. So I think with more vaccines, more things opening up, high schools, the kids are there come fall, younger kids are getting vaccines now. I think we're going to have a better time, and maybe, find some boots on the ground, maybe give that a go with the high schoolers, and then go back to the university again and try it again. Because I think we can make this work. And I think the kids can produce the wonderful messages that we need, and have the kids talk to one another about this, because they're going to be the biggest influences on one another, if that makes sense.
What about opening up to the other units of the state university system? Billings, Havre, Butte, Dillon, there are, it seems like you may be limiting, once you figure it out, expand it to all the units of higher education.
Yeah, no, we would definitely like to do that. And in fact, the state Department of Transportation was very interested in this entire process. The only thing is, I'm Missoula County DUI Task Force, and then the DUI Task Force in Bozeman is Gallatin County. So that's why we were stuck. We were trying to do like the whole, Grizz versus the Cats types of things. And hey, the Grizz won, right? We beat the Cats with our one video. So, but with that, we could definitely open up this to, this model, and I'm willing to share like the terms and conditions and all that stuff with any other groups, so they could, run an equal contest or something very much like it elsewhere as well. So yeah, I think that's a great idea. Thoughts, ideas, questions? So for those of you that helped out, specifically Sheila, Kaylee, I really appreciate it. I could not have done it without you. We had multiple meetings over and over and over and over again about all of this stuff, and working out all the details, because full on rock stars. Everybody else that helped share the information to get it out there, thank you so very much. Unfortunately, we just didn't quite get the traction that we needed this to go around, but we learned a lot, and I think we can do it better next time. So with that, really cool. Let's see, I think I already covered the Lifesavers Conference, so I'll go past that. The Drive Safe Missoula blog. Have you shared a post lately? I don't know. There's a lot of new posts on there. If you haven't shared a post, please hop on there, maybe try to find something. I'd love to have more of that information shared out. Some of the things that helps with the success of this program is the fact that I'm able to harvest the analytics from the website. And the more that stuff is shared out, the more people visit the website, and the better this entire group looks. Also, if you haven't written a post lately, can I ask you to write one? I would love to have one from you on anything: seatbelts, child safety seats, DUIs, whatever the case may be, a personal story. Heck, I even have motorcycle safety stuff on there right now because it's Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month. So if you could help provide that, I would like to share that. Of course, during all those blog posts, if you see any other blog posts that other people have wrote, I don't know. I don't know which one's correct. Anyway, the other blog posts that other people have done for me, I try to put information in there about you and your organization with links back to your website so other people can help find you. And the more that we can share that, I think the better for all of us. If you guys could help with that, I would much appreciate that. I'll probably send out some sort of sign up list here shortly. If you guys have more ideas, because I think that seemed to work once people can commit to a specific topic on a specific timeline. So we'll hopefully get that out and about here soon. Last thing I really have on the list is basically the same thing I've said before the last few meetings. The Young Drivers in Control online course. I'll be hitting that hard over the summer months, and thankfully with things opening up, I'm probably a little bit more comfortable conducting some interviews. So I'll probably be reaching out to you individually, some of you, to maybe get some stories from you about safe driving behaviors and how you choose to not drink and drive, and why it's important that you always wear your seatbelt. And the whole concept is to create this online course for youth to be able to take, whether it be in school health classes as extra credit for driver's ed, or they get assigned by the courts because they got a speeding ticket, whatever the case may be. My whole goal is to create a course that's going to be received well enough and that actually has an impact by creating safer drivers out there, to the point to where maybe next year at the Lifesavers Conference, I can talk, I can present this on a national level about why something like this works and how others can do the same type of thing. So hoping to get more content from the TikTok contest for it, but that'll come. So, and I'm looking to have that completed by fall for the high school students to be able to have that. So with that, resuming in-person meetings, I'm not 100% sure yet. I'll probably have to check with Messi, but since they're so busy with their classes that are going on right now, we're probably several months out that we'll still be continuing to do the Zoom meetings. Hopefully that's okay with everybody. I know we're all zoomed out of, Zoom meetings overall, but I really appreciate all of you attending. It definitely means the world to me for you guys to be here and to hear your input, your thoughts, and your ideas. So thank you very much. With that, I really don't have anything else. Anybody have any comments, updates that they would like to share real quick before we go?
Schmitty, I
Yes.
would just like to say that if you're doing this video for the high school seniors, one good thing would be to get the well-known prominent athletes to speak about why they don't drink and drive and why that's important.
Yes, absolutely. And that was one of the big things that we were looking for with the TikTok, was to have some influencers.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Virginia. Sorry, I cut you off there.
That's it. Just that other kids would look up to them and it would be effective.
Yeah. And I'm looking to try to get as many people from, across the board. So not only athletes, but perhaps, an artist or an author or a business person or what have you, to share as much information as possible so we can, help influence the greatest number of students possible with that. So, I'm
talking student athletes.
Yes. Oh yeah. Absolutely. 100%. Any other comments, updates from anybody? Go enjoy your day. Thank you very much, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. And we'll see you next month.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks for all the updates that everybody provided. Appreciate it. Bye-bye.